Hello, everyone. It is a delight to have you back in the studio with me and with our featured guest today. And I'm going to say that, of course, you know me. I'm Stacey Hall, but you may also know my guest, Johann Callaghan, because she is a noted sleep expert. We'll get to that in just a minute. But you probably already know that your light is dimmer when you've not had a good night's sleep, when you feel like you've never been able to catch up on your sleep, when you feel like you're dragging your butt around. And I can tell you, other people can feel it too. No matter how much you want to pretend you've got energy, sleep is something that doesn't lie. If we either have it or we don't have it. So Johann actually helps leaders of every sort, especially entrepreneurs, who feel like they're in survival mode, or as I like to say, burnt out searchlights because they haven't gotten a good night's sleep. She transforms them into their high state of performance, which I call shining their light brightly, through different sleep strategies and making sleep your greatest asset. Again, she is a member of the Complementary Medical Association. She's a global best-selling author, noted speaker, and global sleep expert across all time zones. So welcome into the studio, Johann Callaghan. It is a pure delight that you are here because sleep is my favorite topic.
Hey, Stacey, I'm so delighted to be here. Thank you for having me.
I think you can tell I got a good night's sleep last night. We're good to go because it's early here in the studio. So I want to ask you to share with us, why do you think sleep is the greatest asset for a leader to have?
Well, I put it that way because sleep is the foundation of everything. It really is the ultimate performance tool. And when we have good sleep, everything excels and we get greater results. We show up more effectively and with more capacity because we have more resourceful resources as a result of that. I can expand on that if you want, but that's ultimately what it is.
Please do.
Okay, so we are creatures of multidimensional creatures, let's say, right? And I do have a quote: everything is better with better sleep. Everything is. I believe sleep is the foundation of everything. And we exist physically, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually, right? And we have to invest in all those areas in terms of our energy. This is all about our energy, our state of being. It's not about doing more. It's about recovering from our energy, recovering, like minding our energy. Physically, we can get tired. We can get tired emotionally as well. The people that were hanging around it, right? People drain us, energy vampires, people complain and all that kind of stuff. So we've got to mind our energy there. Even mentally, what we're putting in our head. And leaders have a lot of cognitive overload. There's a lot going on, a lot of responsibilities. And then when we look spiritually as well, what's your outlook on life? And if you, there's a great quote by Albert Einstein. He says, if you view the world as friendly or hostile, that's one of the most important decisions that we can make. So it's about our perspective. Now, when we sleep well, all those areas, all those dimensions of ourselves are more resourceful. We've more recovery, we've more energy in all those areas. And that really matters to show up effectively.
I love that you brought Einstein up because we talk about Einstein all the time here because it is all about keeping our frequency high. And he was the guy who said everything is energy, right? And so what you're talking about is, how you view the world is based upon how low or how high your energetic vibration is. And good sleep, I know, increases one's vibration and frequency, and lack of sleep, that dragging around feeling literally is. The energy's low and it's hard to produce anything. Yeah. So I want to ask you personally, how did you get involved? Like, why did you choose to be a sleep expert?
There's many reasons, right? But ultimately, I worked in corporate for 17 years. And I was really good at my job, like really, really good at my job. And as a woman as well, right? Women like to prove themselves and feel worthy and all this sort of thing. So I was always doing that. And because I was so good at my job, I kept getting more work and more work to do. And I was a single mother at the time as well. So I had that layered on top too. And you know what? I was just going into work exhausted every day. I was nipping into the ladies' loo, hiding to get a little respite in there, just put my head against the wall and have a little respite and hoping nobody would come in, But it got to the point, Stacey, and I remember the day, and I was 27 years of age, and I looked out the window thinking to myself, there has to be another way, because this was like a rat race. I was in hospital many times with burnout, and burning the candle at both ends. And I was warned by the doctors. So I made that decision. I handed in my notice and didn't know what I was going to do. But I knew this definitely was not the right way, because I was killing myself, literally. And so I became an entrepreneur. I got interested in health and holistic healthcare. I did all the massage and all of that, Reiki, and got into energy. And then I met a mentor who told me to write a book. And I wrote a book on sleep. When I wrote the book on sleep, the research that I did, I was just astounded by the information that I found with the research. And that was when I made it a mission to share my knowledge and information and my experiences as well. And that's why I'm doing the work that I do today. I love nothing more than sharing with people and empowering people, because when we can see ourselves and when we're more aware, then we can make better decisions, basically, and we have the more energy and more resources to do that.
And 1,000 questions. Like I know Joanne, which is why I asked her to be a guest of the show, because every time we talk, I'm more and more fascinated. And of all the things you could have written about, the mentor said sleep. So you must have been talking about the fact that you were already interested in sleep. Were you at that point already doing certain things to improve your quality of sleep? And can you share with us one of those?
I discovered this by accident. When I was 21 years of age, I bought my first home. Big long story behind that, but I bought my own home, right? Lots of responsibilities. Now, I came from a house with 10 people living in it. So you can imagine what my sleep was like. And my dad drank as well, right? So many sleepless nights there. When I moved into my house, I started to sleep like a baby. No problems. And I felt amazing. And I couldn't believe, I never even thought about it. I never thought sleep could provide me with that much energy and making me feel great, think straighter, all the things, everything was just better. So that's how I discovered. And that's when I learned to value sleep and prioritize sleep.
Okay, so you reminded me of a joke, actually, because I have also been fascinated by sleep, which is what brought you and I together. The joke is babies actually don't sleep through the night, right? So like to sleep like a baby is the way most of us actually sleep. I heard somebody say she wants to sleep like her husband, who like can sleep through anything, right? So anyway, you mentioned it. So I thought I would say, because everybody's like, I do sleep like a baby. I wake up all the time, cry.
That's their rhythm. That's their rhythm. They wake up every couple of hours, but it's a natural rhythm and there's nothing wrong with it. So I suppose you could say I got into my rhythm.
All right. But along those lines, in addition to, especially for people who are in places where they're not by themselves when they're sleeping, and or maybe they are and they're still not sleeping well, what is one tip that you would suggest everybody can do no matter what their sleeping environment is? Or how would you change the sleeping environment if you can't kick everybody out of the house?
So there's two things. The first thing that I'm thinking of straight away when you're talking about sleeping environment is always have a good mattress. Invest in a good mattress. Because here's the thing, right? Your mattress is your sleep equipment. And your sleeping equipment is really important. You spend a third of your life in your bed. So there's a little quote that I always learned. I can't remember exactly what way it goes now, but there's two things in life that you always need: is a good pair of shoes and a good bed. Because if you're not in one, you're in the other.
Yeah. Okay. And what would be another tip?
So another tip would be is your morning routine is super important. Your sleep starts from the time you wake up in the morning. What do I mean by that? Now, most of what I focus on with my clients is what they're doing during the daytime. And it really is how you're starting your morning off. So starting your morning off, the first hour, I call it the golden hour. And really it's about filling your cup up first. Because here's what most people are, where they're making the mistake is they're going straight for the phone first thing in the morning. So there's about 80% of people that will go, and even more, that will go straight for the phone within the first few minutes of waking up before they've even said good morning to their significant other, right? That's how much we're doing it. So what's that doing? Well, what it's doing is we're giving our power away. We are giving our energy to other people. We're responding to messages, emails. We're looking up Facebook to see how many likes we've had or whatever. So what we're effectively doing is we're disempowering ourselves straight away from the time we wake up in the morning. So instead, what should we be doing? Instead, we should be setting our day up intentionally, filling our cup up, no messages, no emails first thing in the morning, unless it's urgent, of course. But we need to be doing things like meditating, walking, getting daylight. Oh my God. Daylight is probably one of the most important things that you can do. It resets your circadian rhythm and it starts off the timing in your brain. There's a little chemical switch in your brain. The minute you get daylight, it switches off melatonin and it sets a timer for that melatonin to come on again 16 hours later. There's a lot I can say about morning routine, but seriously, your morning routine and daylight first thing in the morning is super important.
I hear those. I completely agree. I will say that I do wake up, and while I'm in bed, I do my prayer, my meditation, my visioning. I do check messages just to see what there is, because that helps me get a feel for what the day's going to hold. But then thank goodness for my hubby and my pups, because that's the next thing we do is we go out, get our vitamin D. I'm here in Vegas, so most of the time it's sunny. I'm so grateful. And yeah, and I get my day going, I get energized, then I come back, have my breakfast, and then I hone into messaging and that sort of thing. So
we also get energy from the sun, Stacey.
Yes.
The light has a spectrum, a whole light spectrum, and the infrared, it actually powers up our mitochondria. So our mitochondria, they're these energy centers in all. We've thousands of them. We've more in our heart and our brain for obvious reasons, right? But our mitochondria, when we look after our mitochondria, our cells are all working optimally. So this goes right down to the cellular level. So that's how important light is. And we have melatonin in our cells as well as in our brain. And melatonin is a massive antioxidant as well as our sleep hormone. So I just wanted to throw that out as well, because it is important.
It's extremely important. And here, when we're talking about frequency, that's what the mitochondria is, the charging station of the cells, as Joanne said. And yes, I learned this actually not from you first, but from Dr. Rob DiMartino, who's here in Vegas, and he's a frequency doctor. And that's what he says is get out in the sun and charge up your mitochondria. So I love that you brought that back up again. Thank you very much. All right. So what my last question is going to be, tell us a story, like briefly, of a client you had, because you said sleep is the greatest asset. So I would love to hear a story of a client, keep their name anonymous, came to you, was having difficulty performing, if you will, being productive, being successful. You identified, or they already knew, that the issue was a sleep issue. What did you do to help this person, and where are they today? What's going on in their life today?
Oh, I love sharing this particular story. So this was a man who I worked with. He was 30 years of age at the time. Now, this was a good few years ago. And he came to me. Now, he was absolutely desperate to sleep. He was so tired, but he was a really good leader, great head on his shoulders, right? And he was having difficulty with all the responsibilities showing up, right? And what he did was he used to run 5K in the evening time on purpose now he loved fitness and all that, right? But he did it late in the evening because he knew he would be tired and exhausted after his run and he would fall asleep really easily, right? This was the ideation behind it. Now, when he came to me and shared that with me, I was like, okay, that's the first thing. Okay, I had to explain to him, yes, it's great to exercise, very important, but timing of everything that we do, whether it's eating, moving, exercise, and timing is very important because it's a cue to a body. Everything we do is a cue to the body and the rhythms of our body. So here's what was happening. So this guy, well, let's call him Daniel, he was increasing his adrenaline, which is a stress hormone. He was also increasing his cortisol, again, another stress hormone. He was also increasing his body temperature, his core body temperature. These are 3 conditions that are not ideal for the onset of sleep. They're not ideal for the onset of sleep. So here's what we did. He kept doing the same thing, but now he was doing it in the morning time. So he does it first thing in the morning when he gets up. He still gets his exercise in and he's set up for the day. Now, because he's done his exercise, now he has great blood flow. And we know that exercise increases our endorphins. We're getting our dopamine, our oxytocin, everything, right? All the feel-good hormones, right? So he's getting them first thing in the morning, starting his day off well. And he can't believe it, how that just one small change, and it was just a timing thing. And I completely changed him around. And now he is even more effective. He is more happier. His family has improved dramatically because now he's not a moan or an energy drain to be around, right? Because when you're tired, that rubs off with other people as well. So now he's more, people love being around him and work and at home, the family, and his business is excelling as a result as well because he's showing up more effectively and with more capacity.
That's fantastic. All right. So getting our exercise in the morning, having a really good mattress, and I would say a pillow too. For me, it's not just the mattress. I have a whole setup of pillows now. Like one doesn't do it for me.
Even your sheets as well, Stacey. Bamboo sheets, anything natural fabrics, cotton, that's important too.
Yep. I just changed up my pillowcases for sure on that. And then other things that Joanne is going to gift to you. So across the bottom of the screen, we've been scrolling how to get to your website to get your free Improve Your Sleep guide. What's inside the guide?
Yeah, so it's an e-guide all about how you can improve your sleep. So it talks about much of what we talked about today. Stacey goes a little bit more in depth. And really the purpose of the guide is to give you a taster. So, I mean, we can go more in depth. I do have the sleep success system, my methodology that I train people through. But it takes little snippets of that and it helps people to, and everyone's an individual. So take what it is that you need and just take one thing, because we try to do everything together, we get overwhelmed. So it's really a kind of a little guide on your starting, your small steps, what you can do to start getting immediate results.
I love it. Well, Joanne, thank you so much for being in the studio with me today. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate all your tips. And I highly recommend that you consult with Joanne if you're having any difficulty having good night's sleep. And I'm Stacey Hall. It is my joy to help you always through these podcasts to be able to shine your light brighter so that you can shine it on your audience so they know that you're the lighthouse in the dark night of their confusion as they're looking for solutions. So everybody continue to shine bright, and we will see you in the next episode. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.